Hello everyone, Tanjiro Gaming coming at y'all with another video, and in today's video we got something special for you all. This is a little bit different of a video than I've ever done before, but I thought it was really important to get this video out, and I'm very thankful to the guys at D3 for being a part of this video with me. It was a lot of fun. It was really low-key, down to earth. We got a lot of good conversations, but if you were a Union Arena player, if you have a testing group or any friends, or you just want to better yourself at the game, I definitely recommend that you get ready to watch this video, listen to it for what everyone has to say. It's nothing fancy in terms of art or any editing that I've done. Just try to even out the levels of the audio, but these guys have a lot of good things to say, and their team is super awesome. Be sure to check out the D3 server if you want to get some good games in. These guys know what they're talking about, and I really had a lot of fun picking their brain and letting you guys, get to listen to exactly what they say throughout this video. Just going through their recent tournament results where all of them did pretty well. Just some tips that everyone can take going forward into the game if they want to be better players, and then overall just their thoughts about how they took a process of going throughout the tournament. But like I said, once again, I hope you guys enjoy this one. It is a little bit different, and if you guys like this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and really give this video some love and share it. But I hope y'all enjoy. Peace.
I've been a part of D3 since the creation of it. Overall, you just want to know who we are and what we wanted to plug, right?
Yes.
Yeah, been around with D3 since the beginning. Been playing UA since almost JP release, so it was a little bit behind in JP release back when I was in the military. Overall, been loving the game and continue to keep playing it as it comes out.
All right, what's your favorite deck, new or old?
If I had to pick a favorite deck, it'd probably like right now it'd probably be Song, only because like I have a lot of history with the deck. If I had to pick like a deck that I really enjoyed a lot, it would probably be Arknights, because that was my favorite IP prior to solo leveling.
All right, cool, nice. And then what are the recent results of the tournaments you've gone to?
So if we want recent ones, the most recent one was going to be LCQ/Nationals. I came in first at LCQ, and then Nationals I went X2 and bubbled out of day 2, coming in 19th overall in Nationals.
Very nice. All right, thanks, man. Heck yeah, now they know a little bit about you. And Songs is a cool deck. Definitely needs some time. Cyril, you want to go next?
Sure. Sero, LCQ is when I got my invite, 22nd place out of 300 people. And then, sadly, didn't do as well on the actual day of Nats, only getting top 64. Not anywhere near as close as these two to getting my my day 2 invite, but it was cool. It's cool getting my my invite to actually play in Nats. Recently joined D3, probably the newest member, just from playing a lot of games on the Discord, which I always encourage people to do, because I think some of the best players in the world for Union Arena hang out there. Really good way to just get some pickup games, whether it's casual or if you're trying to go for prizing.
Nice. And then the favorite deck, new or old?
Favorite deck? Maybe my favorite deck new might be Red Shinji, the 7-cost Evangelion deck.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, probably should have played it at Day of Nats, but I didn't. And then, oldest favorite deck? It might be... I would say probably either Blue Bleach or Saito, Purple Kenshin.
Nice. Joey just did pretty well with the red deck, so maybe it could have been a good pick. I like that deck as well.
Oh, I think it's a little bit better than people thought it was going to be.
Oh, yeah, for sure. All right, thanks, man. One more to go, and then we'll get into it. All right, Tanner, let's hear it.
So my name's Tanner, D3 Tantan, you might know me as. I've been playing UA since 2024 Gen Con. I did a demo back then. That's actually when I met Tyler. Been playing ever since. Went to Orlando there. That's when I really started talking and playing with Tyler, and joined D3 officially around the time of Gen Con last year for the regional there. Recently, obviously, I went to Nats. I got top 8 in the LCQ, and then just like Tyler, I went 4-2 and bubbled out of my day 2 at Nats, but still pretty happy with it. Favorite decks, definitely all time. It's got to be Kurapika. Special spot in my heart. Love the show. Played it for a long time. I got top 4 in Orlando with it way back when, if anyone's still around from that time. But I love Kurapika. I love big green snipe decks. Some of my other favorites have been green AOT as well. I love that deck as well, even if it's not that great. And I'm really excited for Slime. I really like the green Malim deck. So another big green bodies 5K.
Yes. We both got a lot of the same vibes with the decks, I think, like that, from what I've known, the couple of stuff that you play. So they're fun.
Oh,
chasing the dream, trying to get the energy and everything going perfect for you the right way.
Exactly. I'm a sucker for 5K bodies.
Yes.
So
5K body is a 5K body, like someone says.
Yeah. I almost played the yellow Greed Edward deck from FMA is another one of my all-time favorites too. I almost actually played it to the regional in Gen Con, but Tyler talked me out of it last minute.
What a good friend.
I know.
I don't think it was well suited for what we were gonna see.
Yes. Zero and his buddies tried to talk me out of the Yusuke at the regionals I got to go to with them, and I couldn't bring myself not to play it. So, all right, my intro is out of the way. Just real quick before we get into the main topics I want to do, just explain to everyone who doesn't know yet exactly what D3, all you guys are about, and what the community does. Because I know most people know about it, but definitely been trying to plug you guys because I've been sending a lot of people over there, but. As a group or whoever wants to take the lead, just kind of explain like what the server does, what you guys are doing, and just how cool it is for the community.
D3 first started out as a team. It was a group of guys, and we all played card games, and we wanted to make something out of it. So myself, Anto, T-Mac, Lemon, Moonrose, and like Shining, Cowboy. All of us, like, we were already playing together back when there's the UA Plus community. And we're like, yo, let's make a team. We had a group chat that was all of us, and then we were like, bro, let's make a team out of this. We made a team out of it, and then when things went downhill in the UA Plus server, aka the Cube server, people were playing in all these tournaments. They promised all these boxes and stuff, and stuff never got paid out. So us and D3 is like we picked up more people, and like we're like, hey, we want to keep competing, but like we want to do the community right. Like we don't want to lose this community that like this online community has built. So we decided to make the D3 server, which is the biggest and the most active online server for UnionArena. It is probably the most competitive too, which is why some people don't always like to play in it, because a lot of good players, as Sarah said, do come in here. Some of the best players in all of UnionArena come play in here and practice for upcoming events. We try to do weekly tournaments when we are available, because some of us, like, everybody gets busy sometimes, or we're at events and we can't always do it. But we run weekly tournaments where it's $5 entries, or if you're subscribed to the Discord, you get free entries, 2 entries a month. First place gets a box. If we ever have 16 or more people, we raffle off a box between second and whoever else is left, where it's just any box you want, unless it's a box that is skyrocketed in value, kind of like Demon Slayer Volume 1. And then every 2 months, we do a ranked leaderboard. It's free. You just come in, you play ranked games. Your MMR only decays if you're inactive for 4 days. And people come in and play. At the end of every 2 months, first place gets 3 boxes of their choice. Second gets 2. Third gets 1. And then fourth through, I think it's 4 through 6. So the 4 through 6 or 4 through 8 gets half a box of their choice. And we usually, like, the second the season's done, the end of the day, we'll get it shipped out probably the next day. We give you a tracking number and everything for any prizing we ever send out. So that way the players know, like, hey, we're going to get you what you want. So that way people aren't like, well, they just said I was going to get this, only
Yes.
I never got it. Because that was a big problem in the cubes. And as time went on, we picked up newer members. Because some of our members, like, life came up. Some of them had kids. Some things couldn't travel to events. So they took a step back from the game. So we picked up Gutless, Mist, and Karner. Both of them were very good players at the time when we met them. And they've improved and done really well. Gutless also got his Nationals invite. Karner has really improved and shown that, like, he can play the deck at a higher level, and he's just had some unfortunate luck, so he didn't get his invite. And then, as Sarah said most recently, he is the newest member to join D3. He was a player that we were watching because he was topping a lot of, like, the little online Rumble Ramas or events we had. He was starting to top our leaderboards. Like, okay, this is a guy that he knows what he's doing. Florida came around, and Karner and Gutless and some of the other D3 members got to meet him IRL. Didn't make the event because I was at Houston for Riftbound. When I came back, they said, hey, can we talk about adding a new member? This player is really good. We like his vibe. We like who he is. And so I reached out to Sarah, asked him, and he was all down for it. So he became a member of the team, and then he got to start playtesting and talking with us as a team. And we all went to nationals, and we put up the results that we expected of our teammates and of our players, that we wanted to do well.
Yeah, you guys are killing it. He's a great addition. He's awesome. Spent a lot of time with him at our local card shop, and you guys got a good person on your team, for sure. All right, appreciate you going through what you guys do. It's amazing. I always try to send as many people as I can over there. I don't get to play as much as I would like to, but the couple guys from our locals that are in there, like Levi and them, they definitely have a good time doing it. But I don't think anyone should be afraid to, like, join from the competitive aspect. It's only going to make you, like, a better player. So anyone watching that wants to do it and join, it's just going to make you better. Like, you're going to be playing, like, it's better to always play, I think, against people who are trying to win than people who are just playing stuff for fun, I would imagine. But I know got through that, and what I want you guys to kind of do is, y'all are a team, and we want to kind of break down and use this next part of the video to have the three of you together kind of talk about, like, as a team, what it goes through to get ready for, like, these big tournaments, because you all do pretty well in local level tournaments, these big tournaments, and it's for a reason, right? Like, we've brought up luck based in the game, and I think most of us can attest to that. We think it's a lot more based off of luck, or not based off of luck, as it is you guys playing well, doing everything well. So as a group, whoever wants to take the lead, maybe talk about how you guys prepare getting ready to go into big tournaments, whether that be, you know, play testing, how to play test and focused, and just what people can try to do to also learn to do these things, so that way maybe they can, you know, get better to get ready for these big tournaments.
I'll let Tanner and Sarah go first, and then I'll kind of, like, capitalize what I do as trying to make sure we're all on track at the end here.
Yeah, I think I'll interject. I'd like Tanner to follow up on that. So I don't think if I didn't join D3, I don't think I would have been able to get my invite, just because of where I was as a player. Being a part of the team and getting the team's insight, being able to play with them, getting feedback on ideas for card choices and decks helped me improve as a player. I think how you conceptualize the game is also really important. I've come across a lot of players who get frustrated with the RNG component in this game, and then, you know, attribute the success of their games to either superstition or RNG. And I think the more you play, the more you kind of try to disregard those notions, the more opportunities open up, and the more you can improve as a player and play through some of those variables that are out of your control. I think there is consistency in this game. I think there's a lot of players who have topped, who have demonstrated that. In both LCQ and the actual day of Nats, both Tanner and Legit Vocals consistently outperformed me. So there's something to that, right? And we can, name drop other players who have performed well in other events. So I think something that just helps a lot of people in the community, I think, is just, if you want to play the game, there are elements of RNG, and like any cardboard game, you kind of have to accept it. But there are ways to promote consistency, and I've been able to learn that from a lot of the players in D3.
Heck yeah, it's good teamwork, for sure.
Yeah, for me, a lot of prepping is I think I prepare for tournaments different than a lot of other people do, and I think the other guys can attest to that as well. Sarah touched on it a lot of like getting to talk to the other team members and like bouncing ideas off of each other, and like playing games is like a huge part of it. For me, I'm a big numbers person. I'm a big theory person, so a lot of my prep is more so than like it's less so grinding out like games and stuff, and it's a lot more just like theory, just like thinking about matchups, thinking about how decks like stylistically play into each other, like the flow of a game, the numbers of things, the statistics on how many like zeros, ones, and twos you want to play, how many doublers you want to play for a deck, right? Different things like that, how that affects the way you bridge, how like the tempo. I talk about it a lot. These guys can attest to. I talk about tempo a lot, and for me, a lot of prepping for tournaments is focusing on that stuff, because I think people can get really bogged down by when they play games. A lot of the variants like will stick out to them, and they'll remember the variants, and they will like start to dwell on some of it. So when I don't play a bunch of games, I don't like cherry pick a lot of those instances. So a lot of my prep is trying to take the variants out of it, try to not put it up to superstitions or luck, and just I really look at trying to mitigate all of it, like seeing the variance, seeing and acknowledging that it exists. And for me, it's finding something that's going to like be able to like sift through all that variance, whether that's the variance in what decks you play against, whether that's obviously triggers, draws, making sure you can bridge, find doublers, etc., all the different variants, because there's so many in this game. And I think the big difference in this game versus other games is how visible it is. Like every card game has a lot of variants. It's just, especially with the triggers and with just the energy mechanic of getting to play the game, it's so incredibly visible in Union Arena. So trying to not get blinded by that and just playing the fundamentals, playing the theory is a lot of what I do when I'm getting ready for tournaments personally. And I use the team as well to bounce a bunch of ideas off of and like bring perspective in, because since I don't play as many games, I have to use them for some of that like matchup knowledge and asking them like, okay, how does this go, as I like go through all my theorying and stuff. Says they have the reps, they have the muscle memory, but then I provide other aspects to the team too that kind of like weigh that out, of helping them try to see through the variance and not buy into the superstitions, and remind them like, oh, don't worry, this happens, it happens, we can we can play through it. So
Yeah, it's such a good mindset to take into it and not let those things like mess with you too much about it, for sure.
And then this is kind of where like I'm a little bit of everything for everyone. It's like I kind of call myself the cat. Like I guess the players of D3 kind of call me like the captain of it, because I try to keep all of us on point and on the ball, because I know our players are some of the best in the world for UA, and I know we can achieve the results when we put our mind to it. So I expect the results out of us, and I want us to play to what our potential is. So when it comes closer to events, I mostly want, like, sure, it's fun to play like an off-road deck like every now and then, like just take your mind off it, you want to like relax in a night. But as we get closer to events, I want my team only playing decks that is things we're going to see. I'll spend a couple nights, literally I comb through sets and just make sure there's nothing that we're not missing, or a deck that could sneak up and kind of just take us by surprise. And I then put it through my head, because I'm a little bit like Tanner, where I like to run numbers, but I like to run numbers in like a different way. And overall, me and Tanner like really work well together when it comes to it, because we like to play consistency, but I like to play the numbers of like, well, if you statistically see this, like you should be in a better position than your opponent, regardless of what like the luck factor of the game is, there's always a line you can play that kind of sets you up to not get blown out by specials or the nuts. But sometimes even if they have it, you can't equate for all of that. And then just when it came down to it, and this is like a good example of like where I'm at mentally with the game, I wasn't thinking of playing Spear, 100%.
Really?
I wasn't going to play it. I told my teammate to bring a deck just in case, because it is a meta thing, and if somebody wanted to practice the mirror, I would have it. 100% I was going to play other things. I was playing against my teammate Ming, I was playing against Sero, I was playing against Cowboy and Matt, everybody playing Spear, and I was just like, I think I'm just missing something, and I think I need to piece this together, and I think if we play this, there's a good way to answer what we think we're going to see the field of, being yellow Ava, purple Ava, Kenshin. And I literally want to say probably like 2-3 hours left before deck lists were due that Thursday, because remember, we playtested all Wednesday and almost all day Thursday. The guys here can tell you it was a couple hours left, like 3 or less, and I literally put a Spear deck together, threw the Texan I wanted to try.
Wow.
Started playtesting against one of Tanner's friends. I was like, this tech is going to work. It's going to win me these games. And it was winning me games, and I'm like, this is coming up. I literally walk over to Sarah, who was kind of struggling throughout the day because he was kind of having the same thing I was having with the decks I wanted to bring, where it just wasn't feeling right. I told Sarah, try this. Sarah trusted me, and I really appreciate that. As a player and as a teammate, he trusted my insight. He put the techs in, literally started playing games, said, this feels great. We submitted our list, and it pushed us to the point to where it was we were winning, and there was nobody was ready for what we were doing because nobody else considered it. So me taking the time, sitting there thinking and going, this actually wins our bad matchup. This actually helps in another bad matchup. This actually helps us in the mirror match. Me taking that insight and then looking at my teammates going, hey, look at this. Do you feel the same way I feel? Is it working for you? Tell me. If it's just me being lucky, tell me. But if it's working how I think it's going to work, I think this is going to win us games. And Sarah trusted me. My other teammates saw what I was doing, and they were like, okay, well, what do you think is a different route? And we had a different Spear deck too, which Ming and Matt played at Karner, and overall went really well. Tanner knew about the tech, so we really didn't get to play test it against him. Because he knew how to play around it, but overall, like he agreed with where it was and what it was doing, and I'm happy that I was able to prepare myself and my teammates on such a short notice and have the insight and the matchup knowledge and like the card pool to be like, hey, this card's gonna win us games.
Yeah, things like this, like you guys figuring out the card like that, are only things that, you know, a group of players spending this time together and, you know, having someone who's committed, you guys having your team and people to play with, and taking the time to do that is how you find things like that you're not going to get from, you know, not putting in the time to test the decks and do a lot of deck testing or builds and theorizing which decks are going to be the best and everything like that. So it's like a big part, just one thing that probably came out of like y'all doing that, but probably wouldn't have come up if you guys hadn't been putting so much time into, you know, doing all the play testing against all the different types of decks, I'm sure. I guess to make all three of y'all's points a little, I guess, you know, easier to digest, right? What would be like 3 or 4 of the main things, like if other people were trying to get a group together, what would be like the top 3 to 5 tips that like they would focus on, right? Because we're saying a lot of things about the playtesting, lines, Tanner's talking about theorizing and things like that, but that could be pretty vague. But what is something, I guess, tangible we can take from this conversation, all these points that all three of you have gotten, that maybe could be a little more precise of like what exactly you can get done like with a group, and maybe even us like saying playtesting, right? I guess like we assume that's just multiple games. How much is like enough,
be
right?
open-minded.
Yeah.
And be open-minded. Like, just a point from all of us. Like, just don't ever think you're the smartest person because someone may have a different angle of looking at things. Be open-minded and be willing to listen, especially when it comes to your teammates. because like they may see something, and like you can only play so many games, but like someone may play a game and see a different line. There's plenty of times when like you sit down with a teammate and you're looking at a card of hands and you say, why'd you play that line? Like we had this line. There's sometimes you miss things, so be open-minded.
What do you got, Zero? What's a tip, one thing to take from it?
Yeah, he kind of took but I think in cardboard games, I don't know what it is. I don't know if everybody grew up watching Yu-Gi-Oh, but I think a lot of cardboard players have main character syndrome.
Oh
And
yes.
they get in their own way, right? So when you're thinking about like, you know, putting less emphasis on the individual and thinking about the collective whole when you're working with your teammates, being open to feedback, rewatching replays, right? I come across a lot of players who, kind of like what Tanner said, have this kind of like, and I'm paraphrasing, this negative bias that, you know, maybe they play perfectly, but, you know, they rewatch their videos and they don't play perfectly and they can identify mistakes. Just being open-minded to feedback and recognizing that there's more to this stuff than just yourself. Having that growth mindset will allow you to just kind of improve and further yourself as a TCG player.
Yeah, nice. That's a good one. What about you, Tanner? One tip, one thing from the group testing, and what's something that another group of players can, if they're getting with their buddies, kind of take from what we've been talking about.
My biggest recommendation would it would be two things. The first thing is play with people you respect, right? So make sure that your team, you all value each other's input, because the worst thing you can do with your time is play with people that you're not going to trust their opinions or anything. Otherwise, you're just kind of wasting your own time. You can just kind of sit there by yourself and do that at that point.
It's a hard thing to do. Yeah, like not to cut you off, like that something like that could be really hard, right? Like if you got a friend who you really trust and you know, trying to pick the right people to play with could be a hard thing. You do want to play test against, you know, people who you think are also good. Like those are the people you should be trying to play test against. And then also like on that same tangent, like it's hard. Like I think legit brought it up. It's like only like playing like the good decks too. Like I guess being mindful enough to like, you know, touch on the rogue things too. But it can be hard to, you know, like how he was saying. Cyril kind of brought up the main character syndrome. This is your favorite deck, and you're gonna take this no matter what, and that could be some benefit too. But it's hard to like say we're only playing these like 15 decks and testing again. But sorry to cut you off, but keep going. Yes, please.
There's definitely a lot of merit to making sure you play with people you respect, that you're good with, that you think are good, right? That you're gonna listen to, that you think you're gonna get like value out of playing with for sure. And you don't want to waste each other's time. Don't waste your own time. Make sure that you come into it, you know, with that level of respect for each other's time. And then I think the second biggest point and tip that I'd give people is to practice consciously. Don't autopilot. Like actually be an active, engaged learner when you come into any type of testing. You're not playing when you're testing. You're trying to learn. You're trying to think and improve. So come to it actively doing it. Don't just like spin the wheels, go through the motions. Actively thinking about every play, even after the fact. Talk to the other person about it too, especially in testing. You're not there to win games. You're there to like figure something out, right? You're there to solve a problem. You're not there to win games when you're in play testing. So being an active participant, an active learner, and in play testing is the biggest tip that I'd give people for sure. You're gonna get more out of your time when you go into it actively rather than just kind of passively like, all right, I'm just gonna play games, try to win. After the game, shuffle up, go to the next one.
Gotcha. Heck yeah. Thanks. Man, that was some good stuff. Yeah. I'm taking notes too, so sorry. Yeah. Heck yeah. Alright. I think that covers like the group aspect, the team aspect, everything like that. And what I want to do now is for us to go through to, you all sent me your decks that y'all played in these recent tournaments, right? And I guess what I just want from each person is, I'll share it on my screen. I think I should be able to bring it up for you guys too. If not, I can go through it. But I'll bring them up, like talk about, I guess, the deck you decided to take, and then like relate it to some of the points that we brought up. I guess since it's been a little bit since we hit legit, we can go back to legit. So what was the decks that you took into the tournament. I'm not sure if you switched or not. I didn't actually bring that up before, but what was the deck that you took into the tournament?
Yeah, I didn't switch at all. Honestly, when I was first looking at decks to bring for the LCQ, my top 2 decks that I was going to play was either going to be Purple SAO Song, or I was going to bring Blue Ichigo Bleach. Those were the 2 decks I was going to play for LCQ because I thought they were well suited if I didn't run into like a bad matchup like Kenshin for Song, or didn't run into like Yellow Girls if they like saw the perfect stuff to answer my board in Ichigo. But what I ended up playing was going to be Spear, Purple Ava, with a 5-cost Mari tech that I decided to put in literally last minute because I felt it helped with all of our matchups, helped with our middle ground, and where I went with it exactly.
Got it up on mine, so I don't think y'all can see it. That's okay. We know the card though. They can on the recording I got. They can see it, which matters. So you're talking about the 5-cost Model 8 raid, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So why was this card important? And we kind of touched on it earlier, like how you guys, I guess, came to some conclusion that this was like a good card to bring into the matchups, and what exactly it did for you. Because you obviously had a great showing and turnout for this particular deck.
100%. So when I was looking at what I thought the top 3 decks are going to be, it was going to be Purple Evangelion Spear, Yellow Heroines, or Yellow Girls as I like to call it just for short, and then Red Kenshin. These 3 decks have kind of the same thing that they like their inboards are. Like Red Kenshin is going to be 4K bodies with multi-swings. Yellow Girls is going to be 4K bodies with some little bodies that they want to chump block with, and then Spear is just all 4K bodies and above. So if I was playing the Spear, if I was playing Spear, I was like, what can I do that the other decks don't have to kind of give me an upper hand? And what I saw a lot of people playing was relying on this 6-drop Mari or other pieces to kind of fill the space after they do their Spear combos. Well, I didn't want to cut any doublers, so I'm playing all 16 double energy generators because I don't want to ever whiff, and as long as you can get to 7, I think you can win the game. And I felt Spear's biggest weakness was when you have to go 3 single energies into a doubler, which puts you on 5.
Yes.
Well, the Mari raid being a 5, yeah. Well, the Mari raid being a 5, not only is it on raid, draw 2, trash 1, which one fixes your hand if you're just seeing your doublers and haven't found a Spear, haven't found a special, or maybe you're missing a doubler. It fixes your hand. In the we'll go like over each matchup how it works. Into the mirror match, you can turn the 5K Spears into 4Ks, so now your 4Ks are going to get through. If they push up a 0-drop Masato or a 1K Kawaru, you can minus those, removing them from the board so they don't have a free block, and then it also buffs your Mari into a 45, so now you have another body that can free block their 4Ks. And if they don't special it, well, if they do special it, that means that's one special in the mirror match that they don't have for a 7-drop Spear, so you're guaranteed to keep a Spear alive. And it gave us something to do on 5 energy, which is that number I said, where if you go 1-1-1 into a doubler, you can just raw play it as a 4K if you need and put pressure that way. Into Yellow Girls, this is the matchup I was most worried about. They like to play the 0-drop Ray, that when it dies, draws them a card because it's a free block for them. Well, it's a 1K, so if Mari raid, we remove it, we now have a 45, so we can block the deck, which is just all 4K swings unless they buff the Asuka or have the 2-drop Mari, so it just always gives us a free block in that matchup. Against Red Kenshin, if you have that dreaded 3 1s and a doubler, because they are a aggro deck, it gave us where if they went for a turn 3 kinda, I'm gonna place a double attack or stuff like that, it gave you a body you could hit out of life, raid, draw 2, trash 1, fix your hand, and then you can block the next swing. So it's a blocker, cleared up your energy, and it fixed your hand. So overall, that was just a very good option in my case. And I thought this card was not seeing the value. People weren't looking at this card And I thought this card was crazy because some people were already on the Mari Zero, because one, it's a willy to discard to Masato, and two, it's just a active trigger, which this deck is heavily loaded on active triggers, so you want bodies anyways to play the active triggers.
Nice. Yeah, it's obviously a great tech that worked for you guys, and I didn't see a lot of people playing it up until seeing some of the deck lists come out that you guys had about it for sure. And I think it makes a lot of sense on those turns when you are just on your one energies and not curving out on the energy in that way. But this is also the exact same deck list that Ciro was playing, right?
He had some tweaks because he has some
All right, so I'll
preferences
bring
on
his up
how
too.
he likes to play it, and I'll let him talk about why he had the changes he had over the numbers I ran.
All right, yeah, I already got his in the chat, so it makes it super easy to bring up. All right, let's go over to Ciro then. So let's talk about your list.
Yeah,
and what you
my
changed
list is not.
from like his.
Yeah,
What's different from yours than his?
yeah, it's not terribly different. I think it's only a 1 card difference. I know my biggest issue with Spear was trying to solidify mid game presence and also dealing with like awkward curve energy, especially against Red Kenshin, the worst matchup. So ideally turn 3 I'd want to set up my energy while also promoting more blockers in the front line and having more space in the back line to you know, promote free blocks, right? So raiding with the Mari would allow that, right? The 5-cost Mari. It was something I was thinking about. I just couldn't quite figure out how to incorporate it until, you know, Tyler came along and, you know, processed some things with me, and you know, like he said, we started running it and it felt a lot better. So, you know, the Mari on play, drawing 2, right, can increase the likelihood of you having an extender. You know, you extend, promote another body, raid the Wonder, right? Now you have 2 free spaces in the back, 3 bodies up front, and you've removed 1 card on their front line. And we're already so incredibly ahead before we even start getting near 7-cost energy, or you know, playing the 7-cost Spirit, that I thought was really important in the Kenshin matchup. So trying to get faster than they could while still playing our natural game plan is super helpful. Obviously the Mari can tech, right, for any 1k or less, just, you know, being able to blow
So
them
good.
up. Yeah, so that comes up, right? That comes up against, you know, yellow girls.
It's not an
for
effect that
1
a
cost
lot
pick.
of cards get to do that on. Most cards in the game have like a threshold before you can just minus the 1, where it's like 15 or more, things like that. And the reason this card is so good is it just lets you do it to any card, which is, like you just said, clearing the little bodies out that a lot of the other cards that do similar things don't have quite as much freedom on.
So with the yellow girls, you get rid of their weenie, you get
Yep.
rid of a blocker. In the mirror, if they promote the 500 Misato. When I played LCQ, right, that's 9 rounds. I would say 5 of those rounds, I was able to resolve that effect. So not only was I able to remove a body, I now had a 4500 blocker that they could not ignore.
Yeah.
So it was extremely relevant in LCQ. But yeah, Red Kenshin was the one I was most concerned about. LCQ, I played against it twice, and I was able to win both games. How I won one of them was kind of insane, but yeah, no, I felt a lot more comfortable. The 1 card difference is I had 1 less double energy producer from the Misato.
Yeah, I have them on my screen, but yeah, so you're just running the 1 less of the double and 1 more of the 0, whereas
Yeah.
he went full 16 on the doubles and then 1 less on the 0 drop. Did either of you notice a difference between the games talking to each other about that 0 drop mattering enough? I feel like as long as you're, you know, at the 10-11 threshold, but I guess legit, in any of your games, did you miss the extra 0 in an instance where you're like, oh man, like now I'm just
No.
bricking a
So,
little bit? Like you're already at a threshold, I think.
no.
Being at 12 and or
That
10 or 11 in general was, I think, pretty good.
Yeah, that I never was at a point where I was bricking. I had like a soft brick one time where I was like stuck on 3 because I just needed to find the doubler. But the second I found the doubler, I was like, okay, I'm fine. I get to play low game, and that's why I didn't cut any doublers, because like I was like, once I get to 3, like if I have 2 zeros, all I need to do is find another 0 or a Shinji, and if I find a Shinji, that's best case scenario because that puts me on 4, and then you can spear on 3. Like, I never had a spot where I was like, oh, I couldn't play the game, and I was totally happy with that. And caveat to piggyback off what Serio said, my 9 rounds every single spear matchup and my yellow girls matchup, which was most of my LCQ, my Mari raid came up every single game. Either it fixed my hand or it removed bodies. And honestly, it's what won me my 8th round against Edward, who got 2nd overall at Nationals. He had a turn where he went push up a 0-drop Masato and play an Osaka up front. So I was able to go play Mari, draw 2 trash 1, kill your Masato, raid Wonder, and then play 3-drop Mari in the back.
Yeah.
Target my 5-drop Mari, force block your Osaka, so I took both your bodies off the front line, and I'm going to draw another card off my 45 swing now, which forced him to do a special the next turn, which means he wasn't going to be able to clear my last spear.
In decks like this, I think like these small techs are definitely a lot more viable when there is so much inherent draw in the deck as well too. Like you're gonna see, like I know the Mari's only a 2, but you've both talked about so many games where you've seen this card, and there is just a lot of draw and the search in the deck, you know, with the Wonders, or if you do finally get on your Asakas and dropping those downs, like it's a super consistent deck. Whereas like I think with decks more and more like this in the future for Union Arena, the more decks get consistent like this, you can see a lot more of these you know, two card techs, I guess essentially mattering a lot more going into the future. All right, that breaks down y'all's 2 thoughts on the deck, and obviously both piloted them really well. I guess the only questions I have about this deck is the main question. I know you guys seen it in a lot of the discourse. Is this deck does it pilot itself? I'll just say that in a nicer way. I think that the deck still takes work to pilot and like see lines a certain way. Maybe a little bit easier once you do, you know, get down the spear. But a lot of people in the community, you know, don't like spear for the aspect of thinking that the deck just kind of plays itself. And I really don't agree with that entirely too much into any deck in Union Arena. But for some reason, this one has gotten a bad rep where like people say that about this deck. And I don't know if either of you two, since you're doing so well with this deck, have any, you know, thoughts about that, right? Because there were a lot of spear players that did not make it into tops as well, right? I'm sure it was probably one of the most highly represented decks in the tournament, and there were still people not doing well with it.
I'm not going to say it fully piloted itself, because I feel like when you start adding tech cards like the Mari that we're playing and stuff like that, sometimes the lines are not completely clear. And then when you are spear comboing, you need to be thinking when you're against certain matchups, is your hand good enough to end here and go to attacks, or do you need to, the first body you play off spear, does it need to be another body that you don't care about to then pop that, draw, dig more, or does it need to be a 3-drop Masato, which then you activate? Which Willy do you discard in your hand before you do it? Like, which one do you not need? And then do you pop that and go for more? So sometimes I feel like there is lines, but this is a deck that I will say sometimes the lines are very clear cut. If you did set up a board and your opponent wasn't able to clear it, there's not really much you do. You kind of just draw and just go, okay, I'll just go to attack phase and turn all these cards sideways again.
What are your thoughts on it, Zero?
Well, I think it's already been answered, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of spear players that went into Nats, but you know, someone like Tyler was able to be very consistent with it, right? Getting first and then 19th. So, you know, even though there is some ease of access to the deck, right? It's still pilot dependent in my opinion. And you know, it can't be helped, right? Like if you see exactly what you need, right? You go first, turn 3, you have 7 energy, you get your 7 cost raid, you get double Asuka, you saw the nuts, you did 3 damage, and you have 3, 4, 5k bodies. You know, that can't be helped, right? But you're not always going to be in that situation, and I think playing through awkward curves or awkward hands probably separates, you know, the spear players from one another.
I agree. I'm never like a big proponent to just saying like decks are, you know, just like the deck just wins and stuff like that. I do think pilots matter a lot more in a lot of cases than it actually being the deck. But all right, we'll move on to Tantan's deck. So you were playing the yellow Ava ladies, correct?
Yes, I was.
All right, let's talk about your deck. what choices you made in the deck do you think are, you got a couple one ofs and two ofs and one ofs in this one, so they're a little bit different. I feel like a lot of the yellow Ava Lady decks definitely are pretty different in the sense of like that 1 to 2 drop line is very different, whereas like the 4 drop or 3 to 4 drop line is usually pretty much close to being pretty similar.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of cards that are just kind of stock standard in the list. You're gonna see 4 of all your SRs, right? You're gonna see 4 of your finals, 4 of your specials, 4 Ray zeros, probably 7 more zeros between Mari and Misato.
Yeah.
Some people will play a cracker potentially. They might switch the counts of that, but it's pretty stock standard. You're gonna see 4 Misato double energies, 4 Asuka double energies. That's all kind of the same. It really comes. The only differences that you're going to see between lists, like you were kind of pointing out, is going to be in those 1 to 2 costs. A lot of people like to run 4 of the 2 cost Ray. I
ran 3, the nullify impact one,
yeah.
right? Yeah, you're on 3.
Yes, yeah, the 2 cost Ray. Yeah, I ran 3. I think that was the first big point of contention that I did different from other people, because I like seeing triggers. I only wanted to have 4 non-triggers in my deck, excluding the finals, is kind of what I kind of approach this deck with. Because I think just inherently the way that the deck plays, it doesn't do anything flashy. It doesn't do anything crazy. It's very much just a tempo deck, which I love. It gives me a lot of room as like the pilot, as the person playing the deck to show a lot of my personality and the way that I like pilot out the turns and the way that I sequence those, and it gives me a lot of room to find different lines and angles by playing such a deck that doesn't really do anything crazy in and of itself. It's just about how you use the tools that you have. So for me, I wanted to make sure that I could see all those tools and see farther into my deck. So I wanted to only have 4 non-triggers in my deck.
Makes a lot of sense going into
originally,
such a long day in tournament too. Like you want your cards to help you out as much as possible. So having more triggers is typically just more better.
it's a good thing. It's gonna help you out.
Yes.
It's gonna help you out for sure. So the first thing that I really wanted was I did want 4 of those Rays to start. So at the start, I did have 4 of those Rays as my non-triggers, and I wasn't playing the 2 cost Asuka. I was playing 2 of the 1 drop Ray, the one that has a draw trigger.
Yeah.
And I was playing like 1 of the 2 cost Mari, the one that has an active trigger from the starter deck, the draw 1 trash 1 that can buff something by 1,000. Yep. So that was kind of like my original numbers on it. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, active triggers are just kind of good. We lost a lot of them when you can't play the 0 cost Asuka.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, how can I get another Mari into this? I don't really want to cut a 1 cost, because that was the other thing, is I wanted to make sure I could play the game. And because I don't do anything flashy, I really wanted to lean into just playing fundamental Union Arena, pushing early, getting early swings in, try to do as much damage as cheaply as possible. If I can get 2 damage through before I even play a 4K body on the board, I am ecstatic. I feel like that game's already like super in my favor. I'm ahead on the tempo. So I wanted to make sure I was playing a lot of zeros, a lot of 1s. So I didn't want to cut down on that Ray count, the 1 cost Ray count. I wanted to have 6 1 costs in there. So at first, I cut that 2 cost Ray to put in another 2 cost Mari. It was like leading up into Vegas where I made the last switch, and I did cut a 1 cost Ray for a 2 cost Asuka, just to have more names. I wanted more of the Asuka name in my deck specifically for the special. And thankfully it still kept my ratio of non-triggers that I liked, so I was happy with that. But it gave me just another character that was named Asuka, so if I needed to use a special, it was another thing that would do it. Situationally, the impact could matter on it.
I was just about to ask, how often did the impact come up in the card? It had to be at least a couple times.
It came up 1 singular time in the LCQ. I believe it was against, I think it was my round 4. I played against a purple Wily, and I was winning that game anyways. That just kind of ended it on the spot.
On the top. Got you.
It just ended it a turn earlier, where if I didn't have it, I wasn't going to die by any means the next turn, and they would have had like 1 life, and they would have given me a lot of their board. The impact just kind of said, all right, let's get out of here right now.
I think they
Show
were
me a
right to
final, or
not
let's
give that
move on to the
card
next
a
round,
trigger,
so.
to be fair. I think if that one had a trigger, it would be a 4-0. That card's crazy.
Yeah, if that card had a trigger, I
Yeah.
think that it couldn't be a 3,000 power.
Yeah,
I
no
think
way.
that's the bigger thing,
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah, so for me,
I do want to say Tanner was reluctant to switch to that because I was the one who said Tanner. I definitely think we should play this because it's named for special, and just sometimes impact can come up when you're already playing the buffer Maris. You can like have 2 5k impacts with your Asuka, and he really did not want to let that one drop.
Oh, yeah.
I promise you, he wanted that one drop ray so bad.
I believe it because he's only at 5, right, with the one being down. So like the numbers are really tight, I guess, for like making sure you curve out. But this is like something you spent a lot of time with, and you're willing to, like, it's like we brought up the points earlier, all the tips you guys are saying. Like, you're obviously being open, listening to your teammate to like help you, make these decisions because you trust like what he says about it.
Exactly, 100%. Yeah, I wanted to have a very thick line of 0s and 1s. Tyler was trying to talk me into dropping the other 1-cost ray as well, but I really didn't want to go lower on my 0 and 1 counts. Of course, he would say to go it because he played 13 0s and 1s, and
Yeah.
here I am like not wanting to go below 16, right? But it's kind of the nature of the decks he gets a lot more in the end game. Where I want to try to cheat out some damage early, just playing that like fundamentals play push style, playing on the tempo, playing to a wide board because I don't have raids. But yeah, that's kind of how I settled on the counts that I settled on. I generally don't like 1-ofs in specifically like a card game like this that doesn't have a lot of draw and like no search, at least compared to some other games that you pick up your deck and search.
The 1-ofs in this card game are like very divisive, where like there's a lot of people in the community who think that 1-ofs is like no reason to throw a 1-of in like unionarena decks. And I do think there's freedom in unionarena where you can run 1 or 2-ofs in lists, and they can be pretty impactful. But I know just like through the server and the chats, a lot of people are like, if you share a list and it's a 1-of, there's like, why is there a 1-of? There shouldn't be just a 1-of in your deck. But in this instance, like, you both made an argument, like him telling you and you deciding what you wanted to do too shows that like there was an impact for you to have on there.
Yeah, for me, I agree. I think 1-ofs are bad. I think 2-ofs are fine generally. I think 1-ofs are bad. So whenever I'm even considering a 1-of, it's not a 1-of. Like when I'm looking at this list, for me, the Asuka 2-drop, that's not a 1-of. That's the 5th copy of Asuka, including the doublers. So anytime I have a 1-of like that, it's not a 1-of. It has to be like another copy of something else.
A name, something that helps with the deck.
It's the 5th name, right?
Yes.
It's the 5th name, excluding my SRs. The 1-cost ray, it's not a 1-of. For me, that's the 8th name that I can play out of the trash, or the 5th 1-cost, for me to curve over to have another 1-of.
I like explaining it that way, like the way you explained it, because then that makes it sound better than like just ignoring like what the card is going for and like what you just want the card to do, and it just being a name is good enough for you in your reasoning of building this deck, like to, I guess, make it like stand out more for people to take from this video about these the deck buildings. But what made you pick this deck? I guess like the last thing to touch on about it, like what made you pick the yellow Ava ladies? I know you brought up your play style. I'm assuming that you through this, like you keep bringing up the word tempo, and just want to keep pressure on your opponent. But why did you pick this deck?
I picked this deck just because I think it's really good. I think there's a lot of skill expression in it between the way that you set up your board, the way that you push for damage, the way that you hold your removals, how you use your restands, when you want to restand with the Mari, when you want to crack the Misatos to restand, how you want to block with your Ray, 4 costs, anything like that. I think there's a lot of those little decisions that you can kind of eke out little advantages with, and those type of decks always interest me a lot, because I'm always the type of player that I will happily play the deck that has the highest skill ceiling, because I want to be able to put as much control into like my hands to think that, okay, if I can improve, I can, there's like no limit to how good I can do with this deck. And this is a deck that I felt like I could lean into that a lot. I could lean into kind of like that old school style, like back to when Code Geass Volume 1 was like the newest set where
Oh,
we're just
loved
kind
it.
of
So good.
we're just kind of slugging back and forth. It's all about just playing for board, cheating those little damages in one at a time, right? So I get to lean into that. I get to lean into this like tempo style of like thinking about, okay, when do I want to put that gas on? When do I want to apply the pressure with the Maris getting another 4K swing in, or using the Misatos to get an extra swing in a turn earlier? How do I want to hold the Asukas and my specials just to try to swing the board that way? I really like that like back and forth tempo style, and I felt really confident in the way that I could play it. I felt very confident in, for me, the biggest decks that I was expecting to play was Kenshin, Red Kenshin, and Spear. So I tested a lot into both of those, and I felt super confident that both were like very favorable for the yellow deck. I mean, the Thursday before LCQ, I woke up, I think I started the day playing like maybe 16 or 17 games just against Spear, against different people. I went something like 14-2 in the matchup with it, and it's like
It's commitment.
that was actually when Tyler didn't mention this when he was talking about his deck list, but I went like 14-2 in a matchup. They were playing like the 4-cost Asuka raid, the rare one, not the SR for purple. And we played a bunch of games. I was like, cut that. Asuka little bodies. Try the 5-cost Mari raid. And then I went to lunch and dinner, came back like 4 or 5 hours later, and then they're like, hey, check this out. You're not going to be ready for this. We play a game, and it's just the card I told them to put in the deck. I'm like, okay. But no, I played a bunch of games into a bunch of different builds of Spear, a bunch of different builds of Kenshin, different pilots on it too. So, you know, the way that they kind of play tempo, play the board is going to be different. So you don't want to just play the same person and play the exact same way every time. But so I felt pretty confident into both of those decks, that I knew when I needed to hold, how I needed to hold, how I needed to use things in each matchup. That I felt pretty confident with it and my ability to bring it and win games with it. So
yeah,
kind of how I settled on yellow.
Nice, thanks. Yeah, you guys obviously did a good job. All played super well. I know we're pushing it a little bit, try to get it in the next like 5 to 10 minutes, but I do want to go over y'all's thoughts over that particular event. We'll touch on, you know, the event that y'all went to, the one we've been talking about for these decks, and then also the newest event that happened. But as a group, I guess, did the event, you know, obviously all of y'all wanted to win the event, right? But did anything surprise y'all from the event? I posted a link in there if anyone needed to like retouch up on the toppings, but I'll bring it up again. Did any of the like topping decks or anything anyone played throughout the tournament surprise like y'all's team in general, like throughout it? Like, did everyone, you know, seem to make the right choices, I guess, going into
it? From my point of view, not really. It looks like I kind of saw everything we expected to see. My teammates, from what they were telling me, there was no like clear outlier. It looks like the playtest practice we had and like all the practicing we did leading up to it kind of prepared us for what we were going to see. But at least from my point of view, there was nothing that I got caught off guard, and I can't recall anything that like my teammates said caught them off guard.
Word.
Yeah, for me personally, all the results seemed pretty expected. Especially this, I kind of went into Sarah can attest to it. I thought Saito was a really sleeper pick for the tournament. I thought it was pretty good. So even seeing one of those making cut wasn't a surprise to me, at least. Joey getting top 3 with the red Ava, I think that's a deck that has an insanely high skill ceiling. So it was super cool. I was really amped to see that do well, especially Joey. I got to play him at the tournament. He was super cool. He was pretty sick and very good at the deck. So yeah, seeing him finish high with that, seeing the side towing cut, everything else was kind of expected to me. So
I was very happy to see the red Ava deck, because Joey had to put a lot of time into that deck, because it's not like the lines aren't always like super simple, and then like trying to buy your time with that deck. So I was excited to see that, and I think me and Ciro, we did like a ranking thing before it and everything too. maybe we expected a little bit more out of some of the decks that weren't there, like songs and stuff. But I think that's also another deck that probably takes a lot of time to get going and putting like effort and plays into it, and trying to bring it to such a big tournament like that is probably why I do expect that deck to do better. And this is like a good segue to go into like the recent tournament that happened, because I do want to get y'all's thoughts on the recent online tournament that happened and what you guys think about the metagame, right? Because from this past tournament, a lot of people saw I'm mentioning the Bandai Card Game Fest, the Ava decks in full force and a lot more. There's clearly always like recency bias when it comes to Union Arena. A lot of people do typically jump to the new decks, typically because usually somewhat power creep, but I didn't really feel too surprised or upset to see like so many Ava decks. I think it's just like people see the IP taking up so much spot in the pie chart for Bandai Card Game Fest, and they kind of lump all the decks into one thing as an IP, which I don't know y'all's thoughts about that, but I don't know why people don't do that for other IPs, right? Like not saying like they don't combine Saito and Kenshin and say like Kenshin's taking up. If you do it on that pie chart, a good bit of the pie chart too for the Bandai Card Game Fest.
I think Sarah has a good take on like this online event, so
All right, let's talk about the online event. I'll go through it again real quick. It's pretty diverse, and then I'll let Cyril take it from here. It's like the top 16 archetypes. There are 4 Kenshins, red Kenshins, 2 yellow Rays, 2 Spears, 2 Willays, and then one of Toshi, Saito, the red Shinji, Ichigo, Lancelot, and Noel. And I'll just let Cyril say what he wants about it. I'm just trying to bring it up on the screen, and you can take it away.
Yeah, finals is actually 2 of my buddies. It was Papito and Terry.
Yeah, Papito's so cool.
And they're both friends. So I'm sure it was pretty cool for them to both play together. What happened to Papito is why I didn't take Red Kenshin into Nats. In his finals game, the classic happened where he didn't get to see Kaoru, and not seeing Kaoru on Kenshin feels really bad. But yeah, I mean, I thought they, those two had a pretty good match. I didn't really follow anything besides the finals. At first I thought it was supposed to be like some kind of online regional.
They had they had regional prizing, but it wasn't technically like a regional tournament. Like they had prizing for it and stuff. So essentially,
they
like
they had the prizing of a side event, not
yeah. That's what they were promoting, I guess, for it. But still a big tournament. I just wanted to go over it just to show like, I guess, the diversity of a meta, like how it can change, I guess, in just a week, right? I feel like it threw a lot of servers. There was a lot of like negativity, but just like from the decks that are topping, and I saw a lot of people be a lot more happier about, I guess, the way the particular pie chart looked. And it could just be because like the way the decks are separated. I really don't know, but I feel like it was just a topic I wanted to bring up, because I think Union Arena has one of the best, most diverse meta games, and I play like every game, and nothing is ever as diverse as Union Arena's worst metas are. Like even like the ones where there's like 6 decks, that's still what like every other card game would like dreams of to have, is decks like that, or that many decks able to be played.
I guess something this is all relevant, right? So I think something that was a little bit surprising at the actual day of Nats is a lot of players just went to play Spear, and it actually backfired on them. There was a guy, LCQ, who got 17th place playing Song, and he was one of the 2 guys I lost to in LCQ. The next day, he decided to play Spear and went 0-5.
It's crazy.
So I think a lot of people have had more negative experiences playing Spear, just either because of breaking or soft breaking. And, they probably chose something a little bit lower to the ground, right, for the online event. So that's probably something that came up of Nats, right? Just the cons outweighing the pros for certain Spear players.
Yeah, I can see that. Segueing, I guess, with this last closing thoughts here. I know we've been going on for a while. I just want to like get each of yours like thoughts going forward on like the game, the meta game, what the new IP is going to bring into the game with the Kagurabachi. Like I said, this isn't going to be a long part, just some closing thoughts on the new IP, what y'all think is going to go forward into the meta, or maybe just some hot takes, whatever y'all kind of want to talk about for it.
Nobody will say it. Kagurabachi is just a bad red Kenshin.
What makes you say that? Let's I guess like just maybe explain a little further.
It doesn't have the draw. Like if we're looking at both decks optimally and what they're doing, Kagurabachi's replacing the discard effect is not as good as a natural draw. When you look at the double attacker, it's discard 3 to gain double attack, where Kenshin is discard 1 for double attack. And then when you look at the pushback raids, like Kagurabachi's pushback doesn't have impact, Kenshin's does. Kenshin is one name. You're only looking for the word Kenshin. And when you're looking at Kagurabachi, you literally can't even raid the not the Chihiro, whoever the hell the other guy is, the white hair guy, unless you have the Chihiro. So if you just oops, I have the wrong names, or oops, my opponent specialed all those names, well then I can't raid it. And then also like to discard, to like, sure, you're doing kinda the same thing. You have a double attacker, you pop on swing, but the difference is Kenshin's biggest strength into like some of the matchups here is the pushback in just regular swings, right? If I swing 4K, you always have to leave a thing open because I'm not going to kill your body. That's what makes it strong into a lot of our decks. Or red Chihiro is like, I'm going to kill your bodies, and you're like, okay, I'm fine.
I think a lot of people are just hyped for it. I've seen a lot of good positivities, which I'm happy people are excited and positive for it. And I think that one may sneak in some tournaments here and there. A good pilot,
100%.
you know, things like that. I do think it is a strong-ish deck, but I've seen a lot of people getting kind of crazy with some of their predictions with it. But I hope maybe it does. Like maybe these decks do come out and someone gets crazy with them. But I think they're solid decks. I don't think it's gonna change the metagame up too much in my opinion. I'm not sure what Zero or Tantan have to say about it, but I think they're gonna be okay like solid decks. I don't think it's gonna be anything crazy shaking up the meta though.
Yeah, I think it's the same, has a similar issue that Mustang had, where, you need Roy and Riza to get the most out of the deck, right? Which wasn't terribly hard, but sometimes it wouldn't happen, and sometimes it was a little bit easier to disrupt, right?
Yeah.
So, I think the deck has a similar issue. And I mean, even single name decks, right, will have issues. Like, there's been players who have played Sukuna, right?
Yes.
And they're just Yuji starts, right?
That's
so
what
now you're,
happens.
doubling the... Yeah, so you're increasing the chances of having, engine issues, right? But I think red Kagurabachi will probably get, make a top here and there.
I personally like the purple like purity deck. I think that's got like a big skill cap on it, and maybe someone can cook some stuff with it. All right, fellas. If Tantan doesn't have anything to say about the Kagurabachi or anything like that, we can close it out and let you guys do some plugs. Make sure if each of you like have channels or just want to plug the D3 server again.
I kind of the same things as they were saying about Kagurabachi. I don't think it's gonna make much of a splash. It'll happily fill in with a bunch of the other like tier 2.5 to tier 3 decks that if you see one make a top 32, it's like, you raise an eyebrow at it. It's like, oh, that's cool, but no, I'm not expecting any big splashes from this set. So
me neither. I do like the art a
No
lot.
big
It is
piece.
really cool looking.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, the art is pretty
it looks sick.
I was watching a lot of people play this
going
weekend.
Forward, yeah, I hope going forward they do more manga sets like that, even if it's for things that have shows as well. You just kind of like lose some of the detail in
like bring out
animation
more
that you have
manga
from a
arts.
manga. So even if like the new Damon show that just got a trailer today, for
Yeah.
example, if we got a set of that, I would really appreciate if they actually did it on the manga, not the show, just because I think there's a lot more like detail and the arts look really, really good coming from the manga.
I would love Berserk to get like manga art cards into the game. It'd be crazy. All right, fellas. But I appreciate y'all hanging out with me today on this video. Like I said, I know we've gone over a little bit on it, but appreciate each of you guys. Just saying it once again for everyone to go and check out the server. I'll be sure to leave another link at the end of the video for everybody to be able to join. And any other closing thoughts that y'all want to do before we get out of this thing?
We appreciate you for inviting us on. Like, it's kind of cool to like just get the recognition that I think D3 like we earned this year. I don't want to say deserve. Like, I don't think like I think we worked for it. If you look at it, and this is the statistic we're taking into the new season, which starts with Virginia, is D3 was the biggest team that had the most invites. We had 5 players with invites. We showed that our playtesting in our server works, and we always encourage people to come by, play games, do everything. I've even started a coaching service on Metafy, which I will start putting up guides on decks that I've personally played at least over 500 games, and break down why I play the ratios I play, good tech cards, matchup breakdowns, and stuff like that. And overall, I think if you want to improve at the game, Draw 3 is going to be one of the best places to be. So I know he's going to put a link in the description, but discord.gg/draw3, it'll work. The hyperlink will work for always as long as we have the server up. Come in, join the rank queue, or just type UALFG, come play some games, and then come improve with the rest of us.
I can attest to it. The same 4 people who top at our locals are all the same 4 people, Ciro included when he comes, always topping at our locals. All the 4 of them are always people who are in y'all servers playing games, so it's definitely a testament to it. But once again, I appreciate all 3 of you hanging out with me. I hope we get to do another one again, but I'll see y'all in the next one. I appreciate it, fellas. Peace.
Thanks so much for having us on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. And there you have it. Like I said, a good conversation with some good players in the card game. Once again, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I would love to make more videos like this. I want to hear it down in the comments what you all think we should do going forward. But especially if this video made you like any bit better, if you took anything out of it, please reach out to the D3 server. Don't forget to do that. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.